What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dream Ignite Build, where we go beyond the surface and into real connection. Today's episode is something I believe can change not only your business relationships, but your life relationships too. Today, we're talking about how to ask better questions that create real conversations. Let's be honest, guys. Most conversations today stop at, how are you? Good. How are you? And then fizzle out. But the right questions, they open our hearts. They open our eyes and they give us the opportunity to really dig in. They open our mindsets and they build trust faster than anything else. So I want to have a focal point today on the questions that we ask. When you ask better questions, you create space. Space for people to be seen, to be heard, and understood. Real conversations happen when we go deeper, not just wider. So let's dig into how we can do this. How can we ask the right types of questions? These are the kinds of questions that I really sit down and I go through in my head before I'm having a conversation with somebody. And I start with shifting from information to gathering and an invitation. So basically, I invite the conversation to happen. Most of the questions we ask are about getting information. Where are you from? What do you do? And they're good questions, but they don't always spark a real connection. And that's the key here. We want to get to the opportunity to discover the uniqueness about someone else. Better questions invite the other person to share something meaningful. So this is what I'm always thinking about in my head. I'm like, how can I shift from what do you do to what's a project you're really excited about right now? Or what's something that is unique about you? I would love to learn more about some of your other skill sets and giftings. It's really important, instead of having these surface level conversations, to really dig in and open up that invitation, because the invitation is what creates connection. The second part of this is going one layer deeper when somebody answers your first question. So instead of moving on, this is the time that you get to lean in. A simple follow-up like, what made you choose that path? Or how did that experience shape you? What's something about you that you don't get to share very often? I'm always thinking about the uniqueness of even the conversation at hand, because every conversation that you have with someone is different. And you can ask yourself, how can the uniqueness of this create an opportunity for us together? And if you talk to them from a deeper standpoint and open up that invitation, it shows you're truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk. And it gives you the chance to really let them know that you care. And that's where real connection begins. Most people stop at the surface. So if you go one layer deeper, you'll stand out amongst many, many other people. Think about this next time you're going to a networking event. The third part of this is be willing to share better questions that create better conversations, because they create vulnerability. If you want people to open up, you have to be willing to open it up yourself. So after you ask a meaningful question, offer a piece of yourself. I love that. I've experienced something similar. We always want to find that connection piece when we are meeting a new person. What is the connection point that can bring us to a center point where we have the opportunity to be able to then move on from there, right? That reminds me of when I blank. This doesn't mean hijacking the conversation. It means creating reciprocity. Vulnerability builds trust, and trust builds real conversation. So I love the idea of sharing parts of my life, even just like little bits and pieces that gives them a peek behind the curtain of things that I've experienced in my life. And again, this focus is coming back to that invitation for real life examples. Now, before we wrap up, I want you to think about this. Can you remember a time when someone asked you a question that made you pause or smile or even open up? Or maybe a time when you asked someone a question that led to a much deeper conversation than you expected? I'd love for you to reflect on that. Or even better yet, share it with me. I would love to hear your personal stories about how those kinds of conversations brought those relationships to life. in such a powerful way. It's really amazing when we sit down and we recognize that vulnerability is actually a strength. It gives us the chance to connect on such a deeper level that we never before thought possible. So what's a quick recap on this? Shifting from information to gathering to invitation. So asking questions that invite meaningful sharing. The second one is go one layer deeper. Follow up thoughtfully to move past surface level talk. And then thirdly, be willing to share too. This is the most significant piece, my friends. Vulnerability invites vulnerability, creating that safe space for real conversation. This is what we do in our Dream Ignite Build events. We open up the door so that we all can share together and have those real conversations. These conversations don't happen by accident. They happen when we choose to be intentional with our curiosity. So thank you again for tuning in today to Dream Ignite Build. And remember, when you ask better questions, you unlock better relationships. If today's episode spoke to you, I would love if you would share more about how having deeper conversations with someone has changed your life. So until next time, keep asking, keep listening, and keep connecting. And if this resonated with you today, please give us a follow on Instagram at Genesis Hay Crick or subscribe to our channel.